So today we're looking at the best players, top 5 in every position under 50,000 coins. Pretty much a good basis to try and get your team started, especially with some of them that are going to be a little bit cheaper than 50k. Not everybody's going to be on that sort of budget, and then we'll kind of ramp up as the weeks go by. The first one, and to be honest I think is the most important when it comes to a striker, Marmoush is still going to be fantastic for the next couple of weeks. We have got the rating refreshes as well this Friday, so that's going to be interesting to see where certain cards go. So it will be an interesting one, and we will get more on that very, very soon. But Marmoush, for me, is going to be one of them strikers that is absolutely important in your team. He's brilliant across the board. His shooting's fantastic. You look at the finisher on him as well. You've got yourself an absolute winner. Like, that is a great card for, 20,000 coins now, especially if everybody is building that sort of Prem team. Has a really good link to Salah if you wanted to try and kind of move it on a little bit, and if he does get an upgrade, absolutely can't rate him high enough. We then have Openda, kind of the same, but in the Serie A, 20,000 coins. Great pace on him. Obviously the physicality side of stuff I expected to be that little bit better. If he was just a bit more bulkier, I think he'd be a great powerhouse striker. And to be honest, I really didn't think that I thought he was taller than 5'9". I really thought he was in the 6 foot category. But regardless, looking at the finisher again, with that amount of pace, the great shooting on him, and a bit of dribbling, it's only really the composure that needs that final touches for the end game sort of striker in a gold category. So another one that I would highly recommend. One that's going to be for the future, and to be honest, I don't know whether these rating refreshes are going to be based on right now. So for instance, we know Ekitike has been absolute fire for Liverpool. He's come, he's hit the ground running. He may not have like crazy stats, like he's not a Haaland stats, but in terms of what is shown moving to the Prem on just the first couple of games has been exceptional. I would say he's probably deserving of a 1 or 2 upgrade at the minimum. That is where I think Ekitike is going to be absolutely wonderful. Now, if we're looking really low budget, 5.5k, absolutely golden for him, easily. Peugeot going up to 13.5. This is kind of just bringing in that female team. Liga Ref, NWSL have some absolute gems. If you've looked at Pinner, for instance, as a big one, Patry with a bit more of a budget there, she's going to be one that can be thrown up top with the finesse, the great pace, the great shooting, the great dribbling. She's just got an all-round very good attribute for everything, and does have the advanced forward plus. Roles can be very important if you are playing a specific system, so an easy one to throw into your team. We then have Katoto. Just an absolute muscle striker. Honestly, she is so difficult to get the ball off. Regardless of 5'10" or not, she is an absolute powerhouse going through. She's been brilliant against me. I've had a few games with her in general, and she's been very good for the price that you're paying. Naturally, you're going to go above and beyond, like Gyökeres is my striker. She doesn't hold a candle to him, but in general, as a easy D1 striker to get used to, very nice to get into the middle. Then, obviously, we move on to the right wing. We're going backwards. I'm going to hopefully put some chapters on this. But the right wing side of stuff, Doué is an easy one to throw into this. He's just very trickster orientated. Very nice to be able to get that left stick on him. He's obviously going to get many upgrades as we go forward. And potentially, if you don't want to go for a more expensive version of him, because naturally, I feel like a lot of the PSG boys are going to be quite expensive, we can go with the Evos when they do come out. And to be honest, the surprising factor is the stats don't look that impressive. His dribbling is obviously his main characteristic, but quite in general, he's very good on the ball. Like, he seems to get past a lot of people, even with the 83 on that pace. Now, naturally, you'll go for the Hunter on him. He'll end up with 89, 83, 90. I don't think that's a bad kind of move for him, especially if you are looking to get a lot of the PSG boys in your starting lineup. We then have Rodman, very easy shout here, especially when you do look at Swanson, you look at Wilson, you look at then obviously Rodman as well. The trio just absolutely slap. Quick step plus, easy to get with, 91 pace, 81 shooting, 83 dribbling. You're just going to have a pretty solid all-round card, and for 30,000 coins, very nice indeed. Moving on to Adeyemi. Again, there's no real kind of understanding that he's not going to be bad. Like, he is just an incredible card. Now, he did get a massive upgrade for the 86. Obviously, that is way out of budget, but the quick step plus, the great pace, yes, the shooting, the dribbling needs a bit of an upgrade, but he was always that one step up from, say, like an Adama. Adama had unbelievable amounts of physicality, but the pace is absolutely there with Adeyemi, and he's been very, very nice for that 14k. Running in a Bundesliga team, don't think he's a bad option to look for at all. And one of my favourites at the moment, Mbeumo, has been unreal. He is just an all-round sort of on-the-ball dribbler / decent amount of shooting. The only kind of there's two downsides to him. I really like that he's got the game-changer playstyle plus, given the Travellas, but he is left-footed on the right wing, and he has no weak foot. It's the only thing that I just want upgraded with him. Being able to try and do that weak foot Travella is impossible. He's just not going to do it. It's not going to be accurate enough. It's the only thing. Other than that, maybe put him on the left wing if we do get a position change. Could be an interesting one for him. But other than that, if you can kind of get away from it, he's a very nice attacking player, especially if you're looking on the right wing. He works the ball. You go with the finisher. 88, 89, 89. He's an all-round character. It's just that one thing that I do want upgraded from him. Then final one for the right wing, we are looking at Pulisic. Very all-round card. Obviously, he does have an 86 striker, can play striker, can right wing, right mid. The only one that he can't play in this version is going to be the striker, but a very nice base stat to go above. Now, obviously, you're going to get evolutions for him at some point soon-ish, but an 84 to start with the stats that he's got. Again, you throw the finisher on him. It's a great card. For 5.5k, Serie A, easy done. So if you're looking for coins, head over to eldorado.gg. There is huge amounts of verified sellers on Eldorado, and there is a money back guaranteed by TradeShield. If that's not enough, there is 24/7 live support and also plenty of reviews across websites that will definitely put your mind at ease. And as always, before you check out, make sure that you are using the code JT11 for 5% off every single order. Back to the video. Then we move on to the left wings. Leao's obviously got to be up there. I am so shocked that he's an 84. I don't know how well his Milan season was. Clearly it wasn't good enough. He was, an 86 to begin with. So I kind of assumed that he was just a bit of a downgrade. To be fair, it's not a bad thing because it just makes him more obtainable to start with. And maybe having future Evos going on top quite quickly. But even so, still an absolute baller in the game. Again, you go with the finisher. If they've got the pace, the finisher's the one that helps them out. Great dribbling. Decent shooting, nothing too crazy, but the finishing is 91 if you look at that specifically. Then a bit of passing, physicality is average, but his pace is absolutely there. Again, for the Serie A, easy winner to throw yourself in there. We have Diaz for the Bundesliga, absolutely brilliant. Again, we've obviously seen the 86 come into the side quite a lot, but this card's still very, very nice. He's obviously got the dribbling. Again, you'd go with either Hunter or finisher, depending on what you want, but 94, 84, 87 is a great basis. For 24,000, I'm not going to complain at a card like that. We then move into a bit of Return. The WSL has got some absolute ballers as well. You could make an easy starting team. And apparently we're going to be interrupted. But regardless, we'll go past it and we'll just talk a little bit louder. We've got the 88 pace, 82, 87, 85 on that passing. Again, Hawk, finisher, Hunter. There's a lot of different attributes that you could throw in there. And if you do with a finisher, 90 overall for 13,000. Rapid plus as well. It's enough said, really. And obviously my boys here. Rashford is a solid starter. He's going to be a big evolution card, so whether you want to put a couple in your club for maybe a bit of an evolution kind of builder. The problem is at the moment with what we've seen with the evolutions, they seem to be taking the really slow route, which I've got no problem with. But that could affect massive spikes unless they give you these +1s, and then suddenly they jump and upgrade. They take an 80 to an 84 and it fits Rashford to the T. That's the only time where we're going to see a massive spike in his price. But I do think even as a base layer, very nice card. He just needs that big old upgrade, which is natural. But if you are looking at a very starter La Liga, I wouldn't really complain too much. He's a big striker, 87 pace, 87 shooting. Physicality is most definitely lacking, but he will get there in the future. And then finally, Swanson's obviously got to be on the list. 10,000 coins, easy links with Rodman there. You got plenty of NWSL players that will do a job for you, and she is one of the better ones. She's just absolutely broken going forward. The 4-5 is absolutely brilliant, so you just know that that's going to be a great card. Throwing in a bit of the cams then, we start with a Dabina. Honestly, I did think that she would be way down in the list, and actually having to give her a go just because I was wondering, how is she that good? Like, why is she in a lot of teams? Like, more so than I thought I would see in champs and rivals. And we're starting to get up the divisions now, and she's still in the teams. She's a baller. Very much like Due with the Trickster Plus, the 5-5 comes in absolute clutch for her. She's got the dribbling, the passing is there. Yes, the shooting, the end game of her really isn't anything too crazy, but getting there, the kind of build-up play that she does do is absolutely phenomenal. I can kind of see why the 89 is still coming in at a pretty decent price across the board. So she's one that I would definitely be bookmarking, even if it is a super sub, or potentially if you're building that Brazilian team or even NWSL, you could throw in quite comfortably. We then throw in a bit of Dybala. Again, with him, I'm kind of a half and half. I don't really rate him too much as a striker right now. As he does upgrade, I do personally prefer him in the striking role. But for right now, I think cam-wise will suit him down to the ground. Obviously, got the dribbling, the passing, the shooting at a decent level. You throw the Hunter on him, gives him that little boost in pace. And it does kind of put him into a very nice cam role. But he's always going to be the question mark until he gets them upgrades. And very much like our boy Griezmann. Striking-wise, I don't see the 77 pace working out massively for me. But potentially that shadow striker, somebody that can kind of play that almost the kind of centre forward role, that is where Griezmann works really well. And with that cam role, I think he will do so much better. He's obviously got the ability, the dribbling, the passing. It is just the pace that really does let him down. Obviously, you got to kind of spend some bucks to get that Hunter on him. 83, 88. It's decent enough for the kind of the means to the ends for him. But naturally, like Dybala, once he starts getting the upgrades, I think that's where he really does shine a little bit more. And obviously, Cole Palmer's got to be in here. He is, even with the 75 pace, does seem to be a lot faster, and some cards do, but naturally the dribbling and passing element of him is going to be the perfect avenue for his striking role. Very much like Griezmann, 81. It's predominantly his dribbling and passing that do really kind of take this card to that next level. Then obviously he's got his inventive playstyle plus. It works brilliantly for him. Throwing in another SBC, we've obviously got Kane, we've got Chuck going in as 18,000, as a cheap sort of cam, throwing into the gauntlet. He's just one that you can put in. He's got multiple links that you can go with. English for the Prem, you've obviously got English in La Liga quite a lot now as well, and then throwing in the Bundesliga, just one that you have to put in there quite comfortably. Then we move on to the centre mids. João Neves, 85. If you're looking for a narrow formation, him, Vitinha, Pedri, there's so many balling centre mids that just work so well together. You wait till you start getting that double play style plus eventually with the tiki-taka, with the incisive, the pinged pass, and all of them start linking together. It's going to be a masterclass of passing. And I do think João Neves comes in as the passing orientated one, but also then kind of more defensive on that same time as well. We got Camavinga, who could be conceived as well as more of your kind of DM, but even in the midfield, I think the dribbling and passing that you kind of add to him as well is going to be well worth looking at him in more of that centre mid role. He's just not going to be the cam role. He can't shoot to save his life, but he definitely can get the ball and carry it. Barella, more into your traditional centre mid, decent stats across the board. Obviously the dribbling passing is going to be considered the better avenue for him. You're going to throw the anchor just to give him a bit of more defensive ability, but you could go the other way and give him more of an engine just to make him somebody that's going to be on the ball. The agility balance goes up, the dribbling, the passing, the pace, everything goes towards a centre mid. It all depends on how you personally play him, but I think centre mid vibes every day of the week with that relentless plus. And even if Çalhanoğlu is in that CDM role, he is a centre mid in my books. The incisive plus is absolutely brilliant for him. I personally really like it. I think you could easily go with the engine. You can go more attacking with him in that centre mid vibe. You can obviously go with the shadow or the anchor to give him more of a defensive, which is more than fine. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but with the incisive plus, it would be a waste to not have him slightly up in the midfield, even if it was somebody that is like I wouldn't say a box crasher, because I don't think his stamina, his stamina's A1, it could possibly do it, but realistically, his incisive is going to be that kind of proper centre mid passing. Then obviously Thuram, more of an Evo card kind of thrown in here. If you're going for the Serie A, there is a lot of centre mids. The Serie A is built on midfielders and they have got an abundance of them. Whereas I think when you do look at the Prem, you look at La Liga, there's a lot of cams and DMs, not necessarily a great amount of centre mids in this budget specifically. If you start going up, you will start to see them. And as we speak, the CDM, he is in the team of the week today. 87 Caicedo is outrageous. Apparently the 88 is missing the slide tackle. It's going for the power shot instead. Obviously after that winner against Liverpool, I mean, I don't blame them. It was an absolute rocket. But as a CDM, he is absolutely goated. You throw the shadow on him, he is just brilliant across the board. 77 on the pace, 88 on the defending. Easy one to throw in. 47k, absolute joke. Kimmich is another one, a massive glow up this year. I am surprised how much of a glow up he truly has had. 72 on the pace needs the upgrade, so you're going to have to go with that shadow. But then having solid amounts of passing, decent dribbling as well, great composure, some lovely defending with the shadow. Physicality could be a little bit better, but naturally with that 89 and the long ball pass, absolute baller. Easy for the price that you're going with. And Rodri is the same. If you kind of disregard the pace, he is one person I did swap out, obviously, for my Caicedo, but the tiki-taka works really well. As long as you're not pushing him massively up the field, he defends well. He's obviously got that defensive ability. He's got the passing. The dribbling is slightly there. Obviously, the agility balance is what lets him down massively. But naturally, as a starting card for the price that you're paying, not only having the rating as kind of your flex as such, a 90 rated in the card, the Playstyle Plus will help him massively. And if you're kind of going for just a slightly diluted version, I think Rice really puts himself in there as well. The Box Crasher plus, the box to box on the centre mid, amazing amounts of stamina, and that is kind of where that box to box and obviously the Box Crasher works for him. He may not have the crazy amounts of pace, but that stamina will keep him going all game long. Very, very easy to get on there. Again, you can go with Shadow, you can go with Anchor, depending on what you want. I think for 12k, he's an easy step up in there. And then finally, obviously, Tchouaméni is going to be one of them. I think solid CDMs. Again, another one that will want an Evo at some point. But for right now, you throw the shadow on him. You're getting yourself a solid card for 10k. I mean, it's easy enough if you're throwing Real Madrid in there. Moving on to the right backs then, this is where we get defensive. Frimpong, he's, to be honest, I must admit, looking through right back and left backs, there isn't a great deal where I'm like, it's an absolute must. There's a lot that you can go with, and to be honest, the price is just dependent on what you want to pay and who you've got untradeable. Frimpong was the untradeable one for me. 33,000 is a solid right back. I mean, there's not too much really to go with. Obviously, the defending and physical ain't great. I would much rather go for the next option that we're going to go with, but he seems to do the job pretty well. And naturally, when we've got somebody that could just hold their position with a pace, it's kind of all I need him to do. Wait for them to cut in, get the centre-back to absolutely smash him, and there you go. He's done his job absolutely fine. Now, if I was looking at one as a proper fullback, Reece James is the one. He's not going up and down. I don't want him to be the attacking wing-back, but as a solid defensive card, absolutely. Throw the shadow, 87 pace, 87 defending. He's got a bit of physicality on him, a decent amount of dribbling, solid amount of passing. Easy right back. Very, very easy to throw in. And it's like when I said the SBC came out, for 40,000 coins, an easy choice to go with, unless you've already packed somebody untradeable. Which is then when we get kind of, it is just what it is, like a 1.5k Dumfries. You've got Ola coming in at 1.5. You've got Bronze coming in at 10. They all have that same sort of category. The big thing for Lucy is 87 defending and physical is an absolute must. Like, that's absolutely crazy. Throw the pace on her. 90 defending, 77 pace. Solid fullback. Defensively, absolutely sound. Better than some centre-backs at times. So you've kind of got to go with what you personally want. Left back is slightly better in this, I must admit. Baude is an absolute joke. Like, he's my left back and he's been brilliant. Very much like Frimpong, the pace holds him off nicely. Defensive and physicality wise, atrocious. Like, I mean, you're paying 21k to not even have 80 defending. It's absolutely criminal. But you throw the anchor on him, makes him seem slightly better. And very much like a lot of them. Theo Hernandez, defending better. He's 34,000. He's got the pace. Again, he's in the Saudi League. He's going to be decent enough, but it depends on if you've got them links around you. If you're running a Prem team, you got to make sure you've got some French players in. I mean, it's not too difficult. Obviously, Konate is going to be the big one there. And then you throw in like an Ekatike if you've got him. And then there's going to be plenty others that you can throw in to get them links. But naturally, you've got to then think of a different league to throw in and to make sure that you've got the chem. But I must admit, he's solid enough. But then you look at Batcher, another one, French obviously, coming in with some great stats. But then defensively, it's 78. Like, it's crazy that this is the kind of the fullback mentality that they just don't have that 80 plus. It's crazy to see. And then we look at Furlan Mendy, very much the same, but he does come in with a 4.5, which is going to be a big bonus for a lot of people. Pace is a little bit there, slightly diminishing compared to previous years. Defensively need a little bit more, but you throw the anchor on 88, 82, 88. It's not terrible. Like, you can definitely get away with that weak foot. And obviously Alphonso Davies, to be honest, he's always just been going down, which is a shame because I think in terms of a left back, he's still got it. Like, I mean, he's not a bad left back to say anything. Now, naturally, you're going to look at a different play style with obviously the backbone. He's already got the 94 pace. You want to get as much as you can out of this. So you could potentially go with that anchor, but naturally you're getting a bit of passing as well. You could go with, I mean, you wouldn't go with a shadow really. You get the 99 pace, which is nice, but naturally it's going to take away. And then finally we go on to the centre-back. We've still got goalkeepers. Militao is an easy one to throw in. I think the centre-backs have got some absolute gems. You've got Militao coming in with a pace, defending, physical. It's an easy attribute for him. You've got Hincapié, defence, pace, physical. Easy one. Slide tackle as well. I don't think Militao didn't have a playstyle plus. Hincapié with the slide tackle plus, more than enough. We have Konate, solid centre-back for the price that you're paying. When it was 60, 70, I thought he was good, but not necessarily them sort of prices. For 21, easy throw him in your team. We then have Bremer, another one in the Serie A. Absolutely brilliant. Pace, defending, physical. Easy one. And then the final one, Arejo, pace, defending, physical. Can also play the right back, but personally for me, I think centre back suits him down to the ground. Going in for the 6'2", he's got the great amount of pace. Great amount of pace for a centre back, like the rest of them. Just easy options that you can throw in. And then goalkeepers are always going to be a tricky one because, to be honest, you can just go for anybody. I personally would always go for that. Alisson, Donnarumma, Courtois. Get them out of the way, pay the big bucks for them, and you're done. If you're not willing to pay that certain level or you've managed to get someone tradable from here, for me personally, the 5 that I would go for, Raya, nice upgrade. 6 foot, little bit smaller than what I personally would like, and that's just down to my comparisons of goalkeepers. I've always preferred a taller goalkeeper. It used to be speed back in FIFA 14, 15, I always thought that was the biggest kind of attribute to go for, but I've now kind of narrowed it down for me as height seems to be a really important one. We've got Mignan, 6'3", 20,000, and to be honest, Mama has been incredible for a lot of people. I put him in for a couple of games and then we went and bought Alisson, so Alisson has been unreal, but he is genuinely a fantastic keeper at 6'6", at 16,000. If you're looking for a second or third keeper, if you have got Donnarumma, you've got Courtois, Alisson, then he is one that I'd definitely be looking as my final gauntlet team. We have Martinez as a 6'5" keeper, easy build for 8k, and Ter Stegen at 6'2" for the La Liga build. Very, very comfortable across the board. Now let me know down below if there's any other players that you would like to throw into that category under 50,000 coins. Next up we'll do like 100k to see if there's any kind of comparisons, if there's anybody else that throws themselves into this top 5. Leave a comment down below your favourite player and I'll catch you all for that next time. Make sure to subscribe. Peace!